So this video may ruffle some feathers. I don't care. I think that it needs to be discussed. And so Sonya Massey was a black woman who was shot and killed in her home by police. She actually called the police herself because she thought that there was an intruder outside of her home. So there's body camera footage, at least from the one officer. One officer did not turn his body camera on until after. The one officer did have his body camera on the whole time. So yes, there are some issues with that, but that really doesn't have any bearing on how this played out. So she called them. They came, they searched, they couldn't find anybody or locate anybody, and they were actually getting ready to go when they saw a vehicle parked in her driveway. I'm not sure all of the details surrounding that. Ultimately, I know they began to ask her about it, and they actually entered her home at that point and asked her for some identification. Again, I don't really know all of the specifics behind that, but it was still a very light conversation. She was responding to them, talking to them. They were talking and having a normal conversation. There was no indication of what was about to unfold. So the body camera footage, I mean, it's not all direct. This is coming in bits and pieces, but eventually it gets to the point where you see her standing up and there's a pot of boiling water on her stove. So I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. I don't have a video to link into this right now. I may try to, but so
she ain't even sure on the video all the way, but of course that's how people be. They don't see the whole video and want to give an opinion, which is not a crime, but it's good to know what you're talking about.
the cop tells her to go shut the boiling water off because he doesn't want a fire to happen. To which she replies, okay. So she goes over there and she shuts the stove off. At this point, she picks up the pot of boiling water, and she begins to walk with it towards the cops. And the cop asks her, what are you doing?
She says, and let me just say, this woman looks like a damn cave rat. But she says she walked towards him, walked towards the police officers. She did not walk towards them. Did y'all see that on the video? I didn't see that.
Still in a lighthearted manner. And at this point, she's still walking in their direction. And you can see the cop on the body camera turn. He takes his front side away from her. And she's like, why are you turning? And he's like, because I don't want hot water to the face. And at that point, she says, I rebuke you. You can't really hear it too well. But that's what
you can hear it well. So you can't really hear it too well. You can hear her clearly say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Let me tell you something. Karen is the most subtle beast in the field. Y'all better watch out.
transcripts say in news articles. And so he's like, huh? And at that point, she says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He said, you better fucking not. And at that point, they draw their guns.
He didn't say, he said, you better fucking not, I'll shoot you in the fucking face. That's what he said. He did not say that. So she's even recounting it. The video that the whole world done seen, you see how she's relaying it back. And I think a lot of people do this stuff just for views. You can tell when people are just doing something just for views.
At that point, she puts her hand up. So there's a counter, an island in between her and the cops. At this point, the pot is back on the counter. She puts her hands up, and the cops have their weapons, saying, I will shoot you in your face, because she just had the pot of water rebuking them, which can all be considered acts of aggression. And that pot of boiling water can.
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus can be considered an act of an aggression. Like that can be considered an act of aggression. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. See how these people just twist words and twist scenarios to make it seem like something that it wasn't? Anybody with eyes and ears can see that she was not a threat.
Can be considered a weapon.
A weapon.
A pot of water,
Crazy.
boiling hot water, can be considered a weapon that can cause very serious and permanent damage to somebody. And
yeah, a pot of boiling water can burn your skin, give you third-degree burns. But she wasn't saying, I'm going to throw the pot of water on your face. I'm going to throw this pot of water on you if you come closer. She wasn't saying none of that. And I think what a lot of people leave out is the fact that it's like 15 feet in between her and the officers.
Could potentially result in death if they get
Well,
second or third degree burns and those turn septic and cause.
this wasn't a house fire. She had a pot of boiling water that she's standing 15 feet away saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, was not threatening to throw the water at them or none of that.
Cause an infection. So first, that is the first weapon that she had in her hands. Like I said, she was walking towards the cops. There was absolutely no reason that she needed to take this pot of boiling water and walk with it off the stove. She could have just pushed it onto a different burner. She could have just set it on the counter and left it there, set it in the sink. She did not need to walk in the direction of the cops. So that is considered the weapon. She told them, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, while coming with them with this boiling hot pot of water. Okay, that could be considered an.
Did you hear what she said? Now she's making it seem like this sister picked up the boiling hot water and was going towards the officers, where it's clear in the video that didn't happen. But that is that Karen mind state. That's that Karen mentality to add some extra shit in there where it's not even happening. Like it's all in your head. It's all hypothetical.
Act of aggression, which is why the cops drew their weapons. At this point, no shots have been fired. So she then has a weapon drawn and he says, I will shoot you in your face. Okay. So at this point, she is visibly scared. She sets down the pot of water and she puts her hands up. She still has oven mitts on. At this point, and this is the key crucial point, you guys, she then ducks. She ducks down below the counter to where you can no longer see her. On the body camera, you can no longer see her or her hands, okay? That is a huge no-no with the cops, especially when they have their guns drawn. You do not take your hands out of sight. They need to make sure that you do not have a weapon in your hands.
This I'm sorry, y'all, but this B word then made up a whole scenario. Now, all of a sudden, the police does not know what's in your hands. This is a huge no-no. When the whole time everything is on video, they could see what's in their hands. She making it seem like she's a damn suspect, somebody on the street that just ran from the police. She's acting like this sister was an active suspect in the armed robbery, and now they done cornered her, and now she puts her hands up and she go crouch down and they can't see her hands, and you don't know what's in her hands. Get the fuck out of here, man.
So right there, when she ducked down and they could no longer see her hands and no longer determine that she was not a threat and did not have a weapon, they had every right to exercise deadly force how they did.
You see how these cave devils, you see how this cave Jane thinks? You see how they think?
If she would have just froze and she would have just stayed still, she probably would be alive today. And if she wasn't, then that is when cold-blooded murder occurs. But right now, the facts of the case are still coming in, and this is going to go to trial. But people are so quick to get their emotions in this type of case, and I get it. I get it.
You don't get it. You don't get it, Karen. Cave Karen. You don't get it.
It's an unfortunate event that really did not need to happen.
I'm gonna just stop right there. I guarantee you, if this was her loved ones, she wouldn't be saying that shit. She wouldn't be saying what she just said and making up a whole nother scenario off of what everybody has seen with their own damn eyes. This just goes to show you, man, what you up against. You can't win for losing in this place. Sister done got murdered, and they trying to make a whole nother scenario. If it's no shadow of a doubt what happened. And it's almost like when it comes to something like this happening to us, people will say this is not racial. I agree. It is not it wasn't a racial thing. Okay. I will agree and say this. Okay, let's just take race out of it. If if Sonya Massey was purple or green and the police were blue or yellow, or they was both the same color, what happened right there was cold-blooded murder. Now, when you throw in the history of law enforcement in the Black community, when you throw in the history of just white people and Black people, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the residual effects of the past when things like this happen and the wounds ain't never healed. So you have wounds that's supposed to heal that keep getting opened up, keep getting another scrape on that same wound. That's what you're dealing with. So yes, I understand that an officer could just be doing their job and being honest and doing their job. Could. But at the same time, you can't escape the history that nobody wants to deal with when dealing with Black and white people. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. Give me your thoughts and your opinions. And with that, this is Black Authentic Truth.